Clinton Harris, 43 years old. A name that doesn't ring a bell to most, but to those who know him, it's a name that evokes a quiet, deadly reputation. A former Marine, now trying to live a simple life in the heart of Brooklyn, New York. The kind of man who blends into the crowd, walks unnoticed, minding his business, yet carries with him a secret, a past that the world has long forgotten. Clinton Harris served for over 15 years in the United States Marine Corps. His journey took him to some of the most dangerous and unforgiving places on earth: the rugged hills of Afghanistan, the deserts of Iraq, and the tense, secretive corners of Syria. From the moment he enlisted, he knew what he was signing up for. It was a life defined by discipline, honor, and duty, a life that demanded sacrifices many couldn't even begin to fathom. Through the dust and smoke of battle, Clinton became a machine, trained for war in ways few could understand. He was part of the elite teams who conducted covert operations, missions that no one outside his unit would ever hear about. Stealth, precision, and an unflinching commitment to the task at hand, these were the qualities that defined him. But the very qualities that made him a perfect soldier also came at a steep price. But war is a world where no one escapes unchanged. The toll on his mind, his spirit, those scars were far deeper than any physical wound. His comrades respected him, yes, but they also knew something was wrong, something in his eyes. The quiet man, the one who never spoke much about what he had seen or done. The one who wore his pride like armor but carried the weight of loss and death behind those steel walls. The camera shows Clinton sitting in a dimly lit room, staring at a faded photograph of his fallen comrades. There's a palpable heaviness in the room. A quiet sadness fills his expression as he traces the photo with his finger. Countless lives were lost in Clinton's journey. Soldiers, civilians, innocent bystanders. The moments of triumph, the victories, felt hollow when measured against the lives taken, the friends lost. The memories of those who didn't make it home haunted him. He was a man who had seen too much, done too much. He had become a weapon, a tool forged in the fires of war. But tools, like men, eventually wear out. Clinton kneels beside a fallen comrade, holding their hand as they fade away. A haunting silence fills the scene as the sounds of battle slowly fade into the background. His face is stony, but his eyes betray the grief that no soldier can truly escape. After all those years, Clinton finally left the battlefield. He returned home, Brooklyn, New York, the city that had always been his anchor. His wife, Jasmine, was there to welcome him back with open arms. She had waited for him to come home. She knew, deep down, that the man she married was no longer the same person who left for war. The man who came back wasn't broken, but he was far from whole. He tried to adjust to be the husband and father Jasmine always dreamed of. But the peace he sought was elusive. The constant ticking of the clock in his head, the instincts, the reflexes didn't turn off just because he was home. And with each passing day, as his son grew older and the world around him moved on, Clinton struggled to fit in, to find a rhythm that didn't feel like it was always slipping through his fingers. There's a warmth in the room, but also an unease. Clinton's hand rests on his son's shoulder, but his eyes are distant, looking out of the window toward the busy Brooklyn streets outside. He's lost in thought, trying to find a moment of peace amidst the chaos of his mind. In Brooklyn, Clinton lived with his family, trying to rebuild a life he could no longer recognize. But even here, even in the comfort of his home, he knew something. Trouble was never far behind. It lingered, waiting, like a shadow he couldn't shake off. Peace, for Clinton Harris, was always fleeting. It wasn't something you could just find after years of war, no matter how hard you tried. And on this particular day, like so many before, trouble was about to find him, not in a war-torn country, but on the streets of his own home. Because trouble, when it comes, doesn't care where you are. It's waiting, just around the corner, for the moment you let your guard down. Across town, in the underbelly of Brooklyn, a group of ruthless criminals prepares for their next move. The air in their hideout is thick with smoke, cigarettes burning, the room hazy and dimly lit. A beat-up table sits at the center, covered with maps, half-empty bottles, and a few scattered weapons. The smell of stale beer and sweat lingers in the air. This isn't a place of planning for victory. It's a den of desperation, where men like Terry the Blade Johnson thrive. Terry is the leader, gritty, cold, and known throughout the streets for his unflinching violence. His hands are stained with the kind of deeds that haunt a man's soul. He's not just a criminal, he's a force of destruction. A man who has built a name from fear and chaos. He leans back in his chair, feet up, a smirk playing across his face as he exhales a thick cloud of smoke. His eyes gleam with arrogance, confidence, and a trace of madness. Terry's reputation is built on ruthless efficiency. He's taken down rivals, extorted businesses, and left a trail of destruction in his wake. His name strikes fear in those who dare cross him. His crew, a mix of hardened criminals with nothing left to lose, are ready to follow him into any dark alley, any dangerous mission, as long as it brings them more power and, most importantly, more money. They're ready for their next big score, and they think they've found the perfect mark. They've been scouting for weeks, looking for someone to intimidate, someone they can easily control, someone who won't fight back. Their target, a man who looks like easy prey, a quiet figure with no known connections, no loud voice to draw attention. To them, Clinton Harris fits the description perfectly. A man who walks the streets without a second glance, who looks like he might just be another face in the crowd. They think he's weak, a victim waiting to be found. They've seen his type before. They think they can break him. They think he's just another fool they can rob or intimidate into submission. Terry's voice cuts through the haze of smoke, filled with self-assurance. This is going to be an easy one, boys. We catch this guy off guard, make him think he's in control. Maybe teach him a lesson about respect. But remember, we don't just take his money, we make an example of him. No one's going to mess with us after this. He laughs, the sound echoing through the room, his crew joining in with low chuckles of their own. One of them, a younger man with a scar running down his face, flicks a switchblade open and closed, his eyes fixed on Terry, awaiting instructions. But what Terry and his gang don't know, what they can't possibly understand in their arrogance, is that Clinton Harris is not the man they think he is. They don't know that this man, who walks so quietly through the streets of Brooklyn, is not a passive target waiting to be bullied. They don't know the depth of his training, the intensity of his experiences that have forged him into something far more dangerous than they could ever imagine. They don't know that he's a former Marine, a man who has faced death and lived to tell the tale. And they certainly don't know that he spent years learning how to survive in situations just like this one. Clinton doesn't fight because he enjoys it, he fights because for him, survival is a reflex. And when you've lived through the hell of war, no street thug can intimidate you. Terry thinks he's the one in control. But that's the dangerous thing about underestimating someone. When you think you're in charge, you miss the warning signs. Clinton Harris isn't just a man. He's a product of everything he's survived, everything he's fought for, and everything he's lost. The man who looks like a victim, he's a soldier. And soldiers, they don't stay down for long. Clinton's path is about to cross with theirs. And what Terry doesn't realize, what none of them do, is that today they've picked the wrong target. And soon they will find out what happens when you provoke a man who has nothing left to lose. Clinton walks down the street, his pace slow and measured, as it always is. It's the kind of day that doesn't stand out, just another quiet afternoon in Brooklyn. The sun hangs low in the sky, casting long shadows over the pavement, while the hum of the city fades into the background. Clinton's mind is quiet, focused on the simplest of tasks, a quick trip to the corner store. But there's something else in the air today, something that stirs just beneath the surface, unnoticed by the average passerby. Clinton feels it, though his senses sharpen instinctively as his footsteps echo on the pavement. He's trained for this. His military instincts, honed through years of combat, flicker to life like a quiet alarm in the back of his mind. Across the street, Terry and his crew have been watching. They've seen Clinton walking toward them, just another man, lost in his own world. But to them, he's the perfect mark. They've been looking for someone like him. Someone who doesn't belong, someone they think they can control. Terry, with his eyes glinting with malice, signals his crew to move in. Their plan is simple: intimidate him, steal whatever they can, maybe teach him a lesson in respect. They think they've found an easy target. But what they don't see, what they don't know, is that Clinton isn't someone you mess with. He isn't a man who flinches when faced with danger. He's already sized them up, even if they don't realize it. As Clinton reaches the corner, his mind starts to process the situation almost instinctively. He notices the group of men closing in on him, their casual postures betraying their intent. He hears the laughter, the low murmur of their conversation. It's a sound that doesn't belong on this quiet street. And then, the first insult cuts through the air, a challenge. The words are meant to provoke, to test him. Clinton doesn't flinch. His military training has taught him to remain calm, to control his emotions. But his body reacts the way it was trained to. Every muscle in him is poised, ready. His senses have shifted into overdrive. At first, Clinton doesn't respond. He keeps his hands in his pockets, his posture loose, as if he hasn't noticed the gang at all. They think he's just another easy target, another man to be pushed around, but Clinton knows better. He's been in situations like this before, too many times to count. He's lived through the heat of combat, where survival depended on a single second's decision. And here, on the streets of Brooklyn, it's no different. This isn't a battle of fists yet. This is a battle of minds, a game of patience. Will he engage? Or will he walk away, as he's done before, letting the tension fade, avoiding violence as he always has since leaving the Marines? For a moment, it seems like Clinton might just walk away. He's done it before, avoiding confrontation, slipping through the cracks of society, blending in, hiding the man he used to be. But this time is different. The gang presses in, their insults turning sharper, their steps quicker, closing in on him. They're not going to let him go. They think they can break him. But what they don't know is that Clinton, the moment is here. Clinton's military instincts kick in, rising to the surface. He knows what's coming next. He's been here before, facing threats that could cost him everything. This isn't just about fighting, it's about survival. The question now isn't if he will fight, it's how he will fight. Clinton's past has led him to this point. He's no stranger to violence, no stranger to danger. But as the gang closes in, the question still lingers: will Clinton engage? Or will he simply disappear into the shadows, like he has done so many times before? Terry and his gang close in on Clinton, their footsteps heavy on the pavement. They circle him like predators, their words sharp, each one designed to provoke a reaction. "What's the matter, man? Scared of a little heat?" Terry mocks, a smirk curling on his lips as he steps forward, flanked by his crew. His gangmates join in, pushing Clinton with their fists and throwing insults, trying to break him, to force him to fight. They think they can get under his skin, that all they need is to push just a little harder. They mock him, call him weak. They push him again, trying to get a rise out of him. One of them, a lanky guy with a sneer, shoves Clinton harder this time, his shoulder knocking Clinton slightly off balance. They think they've found his breaking point. They want to see him crack, to see that fear they've spent their whole lives using to control others. But Clinton? He remains motionless, his expression unchanged, his face stoic, his body perfectly still. He doesn't flinch, doesn't react, not a muscle twitches, not even a breath. To them, it's unnerving. But to Clinton, it's just another day. What they don't realize, what they can't possibly understand, is that this composure, this stillness is Clinton's weapon. It's his shield. In a world of chaos, of violence, of noise, he has learned to embrace the silence. The calm before the storm. A mind that knows how to assess a situation, to calculate, to act only when necessary. And right now, Clinton is choosing to let them come closer. He's letting them push him, letting them think they have control, letting them think they've won. But he knows that every second they spend in his space, Every second they try to break him, they're walking into a trap they haven't even seen yet. They continue, relentless, pressing in on him. The insults become louder, more personal. The gang believes they're winning. They believe Clinton is nothing more than a man who will eventually snap, that they're just one insult away from breaking him. But Clinton knows something they don't, their aggression. It's their weakness. Their need to intimidate, to belittle, is their downfall. The more they push, the more they reveal their desperation. They're like animals trapped in a corner, barking and snapping, unaware of the calm hunter waiting for them. They don't understand that the longer they push, the closer they get to making a fatal mistake. Clinton is no fool. He knows how to make every move count, how to make every second of aggression turn into an advantage. And for them, their time is running out. Clinton's mind is calculating, evaluating every angle, every possible outcome. He's not intimidated by them. He's not afraid of them. He's been through worse. He's fought battles where the stakes were far higher than these thugs could ever imagine. Clinton has faced enemies before. He stared death in the face time and time again. But the difference now is simple. He doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need to show his strength in the loudest, most violent way. He's already won. The calm in his mind, the steady rhythm of his breathing, is the weapon that will decide this encounter. And as the gang continues to close in, their movements growing more erratic, their anger building, Clinton knows exactly when and where to strike. And now the storm is here. The calm has ended. The moment has arrived. In the military, they train you to control everything: your body, your mind, your reactions. It's not about instinct or impulse, it's about precision, discipline, and awareness. They teach you to act, not react, to remain the calm in the eye of the storm. It's the kind of training that strips away fear, the kind that leaves no room for hesitation, no room for mistakes. You learn to see the world differently. You learn that time slows down when it matters most. You learn how to survive when survival is all that matters. Clinton had learned that lesson well through blood, sweat, and countless hours of grueling drills. He'd learned it in places no man should ever have to be, from the desert sands of Afghanistan to the war-torn streets of Syria. Places where decisions were made in an instant, where your life depended not just on the weapons you carried, but on the ability to think, to move, to act with purpose. It wasn't just about killing. It was about surviving, adapting, and outlasting the chaos around you. Clinton, navigating a jungle, moving silently through a dense forest, crouched behind cover, eyes scanning the area. He's on a covert mission, the tension palpable as he signals to his squad. A series of quick cuts, Clinton crawling under barbed wire, making life or death decisions in a split second, his face set with determination. But now here he is on the streets of Brooklyn, a world away from the battlefield. He's not facing terrorists or warlords this time. No, this time it's just a gang of street thugs who think they've found their next victim. They don't know him, they don't know the lessons he's learned or the scars they can't see. They don't know that his calm, his silence isn't a weakness. It's his strength. In that moment, it doesn't matter that these men are nothing more than street-level criminals. The result will be the same. The principles that served Clinton on the battlefield will serve him now. In war, it's about making the right choice, the right move at the right time. And Clinton has learned to make those choices quickly, decisively. He's learned to survive, no matter the odds. Whether it's a group of armed soldiers or a gang of thugs in Brooklyn, he is the same man. The battlefield doesn't change. Only the players do. On the streets of Brooklyn, it might be different from the deserts of Afghanistan. The enemies may wear different faces, the stakes may feel smaller. But to Clinton, it's all the same. The lesson has been learned: in the face of danger, it's not about fighting harder, it's about fighting smarter. And right now, Clinton is playing the game in a way these men will never understand. The gang, once so confident, makes their first mistake in underestimation of the man they've surrounded. They thought they had him cornered, just another victim ready to fold under pressure. But Terry, like the others, hasn't realized the depth of Clinton's experience. He shoves Clinton hard, trying to provoke him, trying to show dominance, But in that moment, everything changes. A single, deliberate push, one that Terry expects will break Clinton's resolve, sets off a chain reaction that neither of them could foresee. The gang watches in anticipation, eager for the fight to escalate. Clinton's body, in one fluid motion, shifts in response, his instincts kicking in before his mind even has a chance to process the situation. His movements are quick, controlled, and precise. Before Terry knows what's happening, his grip on Clinton's collar is gone, and Clinton's hand is already on his arm, twisting it into a position that leaves Terry disarmed and helpless. Clinton doesn't hesitate. His body moves faster than his thoughts. With a swift, practiced motion, he takes Terry's arm, twists it with expert precision, and in a heartbeat, Terry is disarmed, his own weapon now in Clinton's hands. The gang's arrogance, once so palpable, fades into shock. Terry's smug expression crumbles as he realizes what just happened. He thought he was in control. But now, for the first time, he feels a creeping fear, the kind of fear that comes when you realize you've made the mistake of underestimating someone who knows exactly how to handle himself. The gang hesitates. They were ready to fight, ready to overpower him, but now they find themselves questioning their decision. Clinton isn't just some random man. They've discovered this too late. He's not the type to panic under pressure. He's the type who remains calm, in control, no matter what's thrown at him. The gang's confidence starts to crack. One by one, they look at each other, unsure whether to retreat or push forward. Clinton's calmness, his effortless control, has shaken them. They can see now that this isn't going to be as easy as they thought. Clinton doesn't waste time. He knows what's at stake now. The first mistake has been made, but that's only the beginning. The rest of the gang, unsure and rattled, are still sizing him up, still wondering if they can salvage this situation. But Clinton's eyes, they're locked onto them, all calculating, assessing, waiting for the next move. His training has already dictated the rhythm of this fight. It's not about aggression, not about proving who's stronger. It's about taking control, making every move count. In this game, Clinton is always one step ahead. The gang's first mistake was underestimating him. But now Clinton will show them that their real mistake was thinking they could get away with anything. And in this moment, when they hesitate, when they doubt their own strength, Clinton takes control. The fight has just begun. But the outcome, it's already decided. Clinton doesn't want this. He never asked for it. This life, the violence, the constant threat of danger, it was supposed to be behind him. He had left it all behind when he chose to walk away from the military, to walk away from the chaos and bloodshed of war. He wanted peace. He wanted to be a good husband, a good father to his son, Elijah. That was the life he had dreamed of, the one he worked so hard to build. He had earned it. And yet, here he is pulled back into a fight he never asked for, surrounded by men who don't understand who he really is. Clinton had been through hell. He'd seen things that would break most men, things that would haunt them forever. He had learned to live with those demons buried deep within him, but he had made a promise to himself, to his family, that he wouldn't let that life define him anymore. He wouldn't let it pull him back. Yet, as the gang closes in again, he feels that same pull, the cold, calculated instincts of the soldier he once was, the trained fighter who has fought and killed in the name of survival. And right now, survival is all that matters. He knows what needs to be done. But a part of him, the man who wants to leave it all behind, wants to walk away. Should he finish them off, end it here and now, take them all down, silence their aggression with the deadly precision he's been trained for? Or should he let them go, turn the other cheek, and walk away from the violence that has haunted him for so long? He wants peace, but peace has always been fleeting. Every time he thinks he's found it, it slips away, and violence forces him back into the role he left behind. This fight, it's not just about these men. It's about everything he's tried to escape, everything he's tried to forget. And it's a battle that's raging inside him, every bit as fierce as the one unfolding before him. But Clinton knows the truth. He can't walk away this time. Not now, not after everything. Not when his family is at risk. Not when he knows what will happen if he lets this moment pass. He's fought too many battles, seen too much, to turn his back on this. These men, they're not just thugs. They're a threat. A threat he can't ignore, not if he's ever going to live the life he wants. And so the decision is made. He won't run anymore. He won't let them think they can walk over him. He'll finish this, but not because he enjoys it. He'll finish it because he has no choice. He has to protect the life he's built, the family he loves. And in that moment, the soldier inside him comes alive again. But this time it's not war. This time it's survival. His survival. And for the first time in a long while, Clinton is at peace with that. One by one, the gang members fall. Clinton doesn't hesitate anymore. His training has taken over. What started as a robbery turns into a full-on fight for survival. Terry is still standing, but not for long. The fight ends just as quickly as it began. The gang is defeated and Clinton stands alone in the middle of the street, the sounds of the city once again filling the air. He's done it. But at what cost? The damage to his own peace of mind, can it ever be repaired? As Clinton walks back home to his family, he knows that peace will always be fleeting. He's fought and survived, but the ghosts of his past will never fully leave him. How can you ever truly escape a life you were trained for? And how long before someone else picks the wrong target? But this isn't the end of Clinton's story. He may have defeated the gang, but in a world like this, danger is never far behind. Someone out there is bound to make the same mistake again. What do you think? Was Clinton's past truly behind him, or was this just the beginning of a new fight? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories that reveal the truth behind the quietest heroes.